I'm an extreme mood reader, and if I'm not in the mood to read something, I just won't. Kitty has longed for her his entire life. Hello bookish friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Eve from the Bookish Eve, and today we are going to do another reading vlog. We are going to do a cozy fall reading vlog. The weather is terrible, which is the best time to do these kinds of videos. I love baking this time of year. I love everything with cinnamon in it. So I'm going to do some baking in this video. I'm going to show you the weather around here. And we are going to try and tackle my fall TBR. If you've seen my October TBR, I let my TBR prompt jar pick some books for the month of October. I'm currently reading one of those, and on my TBR is another one. And this would be the TBR for today's video. I have started reading The Night Hunt already. I'm so excited to read these books in today's reading vlog. It is the best time of year, I believe. It is the perfect time for cozy reading and for some monster books. So we're going to talk a little bit about the books. The first book, which I've already started a little bit, is The Night Hunt by Alexandra Christo. I bought this purely off of the cover. I adore this cover. Pink and purple is such a bomb combo, and this is stunning. So this is about a monster. Her name is Atia, and she is the last of her kind. And she breaks one of the sacred rules where she lives. She's cursed by the gods. She kind of loses her power, but also there's a price on her head because the gods want her dead. And so they are hunting her and telling other monsters to hunt her. There's only one way to break a god's curse, and she's trying to go on a journey to try and do these 3 things that she needs to do to break this curse. And she needs help from a herald of death. And so they kind of go on a little journey to find if she can break the curse and if he can become human again and remember who he is. Because as a herald, you lose all your memories, and that is kind of where we are right now. I'm not very far into this book. Let me check. I'm 80 pages into this book. I think it has about 400 pages. Today is Sunday, so maybe I have some time to read. The second book that I want to read this week is A Soul to Touch. This is a monster romance in the Duskwalker Brides series. This is the 3rd book in the series, and I loved the first one. I loved that book so much. The second one I didn't love as much. In this book, it is actually about a Duskwalker again and then a demon slayer. But I'm hoping that I will love this as much. And yeah, I love a good monster romance in between some fantasy books. And these are actually really well written and really fun. So I'm really excited to get into this. What better time to read cozy fantasy magical books? This is very different from the other books on my TBR, but I do that on purpose. I don't really like reading 2 similar books back to back. So I purposely chose some very different books. We have a YA fantasy, we have a monster romance, and here we have Rewitched. This book is about Belladonna Blackthorn. She finds out that when she turns 30, she has to go through these trials where her coven decides if she's worthy of her magic or not. But she kind of got a little bit too comfortable in her own world, and so she's kind of not been training as much as she maybe should have. And if she fails this test and the coven decides that she's unworthy of magic, she will lose her magic forever. And she is so sure that she will lose her magic forever. And through feeling so devastated about the possibility of losing her magic forever, she kind of rediscovers her love for magic and, yeah, tries to do everything in her power to not fail these trials. We'll see what this is about. I love cozy books, so. And then I would actually like to read The Coldest Touch by Isabel Sterling. This is a sapphic vampire story. I don't remember everything that it said on the back, but I remember that it said for fans of Richelle Mead, and I love the Vampire Academy series. That is like my one favorite series of all time, I think, apart from the classics like Throne of Glass and stuff. Elise is cursed. Every time she touches someone, she experiences how they will die. And when she predicts but is unable to prevent her brother's death, Elise is desperate to escape her terrible gift. Then she meets Claire, a vampire tasked with helping Elise master her rare powers and recruiting her to the Veil, a secret organization determined to protect the paranormal world at all cost. At first, Elise is reluctant to work with a vampire, but when she predicts a teacher's imminent murder, she is determined to stop the violent death. As Elise and Claire grow closer, Elise begins to wonder, can she really trust someone tasked with securing her loyalty? Someone who could so easily kill her? Someone who might hold the key to unraveling her brother's mysterious death? And that sounds really cool. I'm really excited to read this as well. And that is basically all the books that I want to read in this video. I'm not sure what I'll start with. I think that I'm actually going to start with the monster romance. I think I'm going to start with The Soul to Touch. I'm really in the mood for some monster romance. Yes, I think that is what I'll do. I will start with the monster romance and then I will read The Night Hunt after that, and we'll see how much of it I can get done today. I do have some university stuff to do later today, and I also want to do some baking, so we'll see. Okay, let's get into it. Hey guys, it's the next day and I finished A Soul to Touch by Opal Rain yesterday evening. I loved this so much. I was really surprised. I almost stopped with the series after the second one. I think I said it in my last check-in that I was actually really disappointed by the second one because I could not stand our female lead. But in this one, she definitely redeemed herself. Mayumi is probably one of my favorite characters out of the universe so far. She's just really cool. I mean, she has her flaws, but she's aware of those flaws and they make her the person that she is. Let's be honest, none of us are perfect. She knows in what ways she's lacking, but she doesn't apologize for who she is. She is headstrong and powerful. She's a bisexual demon slayer, and she does everything that's needed to be done, even if it's hard. She is kind of emotionally in her little shell. Like, she doesn't share emotions easily, which makes for a really interesting dynamic because Kitty, as he's called in the beginning of this book, he later gets another name, but Kitty has longed for her his entire life. And he's always been around and looking out for her and protecting her. And she's like this person who does not need to be protected. She is very capable of protecting herself, but she also, if help is offered, why not? And she also wants to get to know him because he saved her life and she's really thankful for that. And this book, okay, I have to say that this book, I think, is more smut than any of the other books. Because in this one, Mayumi has had like these fantasies about demons and stuff, which is one of the reasons that she trusts Kitty so easily. But that's also very interesting because it's kind of like a taboo, but also she doesn't apologize for it. She knows what she likes and she's unapologetically herself. And so they're kind of having some problems communicating and sharing their feelings because that's not who either of them are. And that makes them not want to accept the relationship for what it is. And it kind of makes them want to stay just friends with benefits, so to say. Yeah, while both of them are longing for a real relationship and a real connection to each other that they can't have yet. And it was very heartfelt. I did not expect this to be so heartfelt because it is what it is. It is a monster romance. But the emotions in this were very high. I had no feelings about the second one, but this really redeemed the series. I'm definitely going to be buying the fourth book, which I didn't think I would after the second one was so disappointing. I'm really glad I picked this up though. Yeah, this was great. Now, the question is though, what do I read next? What would be the book that I read next? Oh no, I know. Wait. The next one I should read is definitely The Night Hunt, because I already started it, I think, last week. But then I kind of wasn't in the mood for a YA and picked up A Soul to Touch instead. But I am about 87 pages into this book so far. The reason I put this down is by no means that I didn't like it or that it wasn't interesting. I was just craving something else. I'm an extreme mood reader, and if I'm not in the mood to read something, I just won't. And yeah, reading some more books about monsters. But this is the next one that I'm going to pick up, and I'm gonna pop in a bit and give you over to Future Eve and let her tell you what she thinks of this book. Hey guys, little check-in. I am pretty much halfway through The Night Hunt. I'm around page 180 and there's, I think, 370 pages in total. And I'm torn. I don't know. I am a little bit biased because the cover is absolutely gorgeous, but I've not been loving it as much as I thought I would. And for some reason it wasn't pulling me in as much as I thought, which is weird on the outside because I generally like every idea in this book. I think I said it in the little intro. Atya is a monster who feeds on fear, and she is the last of her kind. Her parents and every family she's ever had has been slaughtered by the gods. She wants to find out why, and she also wants to take revenge on the gods. There's like 3 high gods and 5 river gods, which I think is incredibly interesting. So there's the day, the night, and the balance as the 3 high gods. And then there's also the river gods, which is, can I remember? Eternity, sorrow, death, forgetting, and one other one that I can't remember. But it's really interesting. Also, this book has like a quest element. Ooh. Okay, like the whole plot is a quest plot because they're setting out to find a cure for her curse or to break her curse. And they know that they have to do like a bunch of things to break this curse. And I really like Atya. I feel like Alexandra Gristo really likes writing monstrous main characters who are murderous a little bit and ruthless. And that is very much also what the character was like in To Kill a Kingdom, and I really enjoy it, although it does read very young adult. There's not much, yeah, I don't know how best to explain it. It's just a little bit, sometimes it's a little bit boring, to be honest. But that is probably a me problem. I generally like reading YA, and I'm really disappointed that I'm not loving it as much as I thought I would. What else can I say? I really like the humor, I have to say that. I really like the love interest and the friendships, and they're also like collecting more people as they go on this quest. I love all their dynamics. They're very different people, and I really love reading about that. I am really excited to see what happens next and if this book can kind of redeem itself. I mean, it is so incredibly stunning, and I would hate to not love this in the end. I mean, it's not a bad book. All of that to say, it is not a bad book. I'm still enjoying reading it. It's just not as engaging as I would have hoped. At this point, I think it would sit around a 3.5 star because I like the characters, I like the humor, I like the banter, I like the world especially, but it's not clicking. It's not clicking for some reason. But I will get back into this and I will tell you what I think when I have finished it. I finished The Night Hunt, and I am so glad that I did and I didn't give up, because it got so much better in the end. I did not see that plot twist coming. I did not. I'm pretty good at plot twist guessing, but I did not see this coming. It really blindsided me, but it made so much sense that I was a little angry at myself that I hadn't gotten it earlier. But I really liked how the story wrapped up. I think it made sense. It was a nice ending that was still kind of heartbreaking a little bit, but satisfying in total. And it was a beautiful end. It bumped this book up from a 3.5 to a 4-star book. Definitely. I would totally recommend you read this. If you like YA books and if the premise sounds interesting to you, I would totally recommend that you pick this up. I really liked the characters in this and how they played off of each other and some of their little like discussions and quips. That was and the banter between them was so interesting and so funny and nice to read that I laughed out loud a few times. Yeah, but this was really interesting and nice to read. A monster who feeds on fear. I haven't seen that before anywhere. So that was really interesting. And also the Herald of Death thing that the male main character was. And then also the discussions about being half monster, half human, discarded by the monsters because you're not monster enough, but also not accepted with the humans because you're not human enough for one of the characters in this book. And then also family and found family and the difference between real family and how they can treat you, and then also how your found family can treat you in contrast to that. I just love to see found family tropes. That always makes me so sad, but so happy for the characters as well, because it's just such a beautiful thing when you find your family in people that don't necessarily have to be family by blood. Hi guys, little check-in. I am about a third of the way through Rewitched and I'm really loving it so far. I think I said before that this is like my book club, in-person book club pick for the month, so I need to finish this today. I am really loving this witch coven trial aspect. I'm really curious to see where this is going. I am really liking this so far, but I'm not sure. It's just a cozy read. I think I would just give this like 4 stars for now. I am hoping to finish this in about 3 hours. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that, but I'm hoping, so I can pick up my next book for this vlog. Yeah, I'm really excited to keep going, and I'll talk to you when I got a little bit more into it. Nothing much happened in terms of romance yet. I mean, they have met, but I think they exchanged 4 words in total after that. And I'm really excited to see where this is heading. I will talk to you guys next when I have read a little bit more into this story and know a little bit more about where the book is going to go. Hey guys, I just finished reading Rewitched, and I'm not sure what to say about this, to be quite honest. I mean, it was fun to read. I liked the story. I liked the characters. I liked the fun family aspect and the believing in yourself, and also the trial aspect. I did find it kind of predictable though. I personally always like to guess the plot twists and guess along with the book, and I guessed who was behind everything at around the 50% mark, which kind of ruined the end surprise for me a little bit, and kind of makes me feel a little about this book. I did really like reading it though. It was so cozy, so magical and whimsical, and it was a great time. I just don't feel any special way about this book. I don't know what to rate it. I think I would rate it like a 3.75 or a 3.5 star, because I did really, really enjoy my time reading, but I don't have any feelings toward this book. I don't know what else to say about this. I think if you like cozy reads for fall, this is definitely the one. I found that the romance plot in this book was definitely very taken back from the rest of the plot. I feel like it was just a side element to the story and not a main aspect. I did find the romance plot that was there. I did find the romance that was there to be really cute, and I just wish we'd gotten more of it, to be honest. I feel like this is more of a finding yourself, growing into the person you're supposed to be, and believing in yourself story more than a romance story. But I just wish we had gotten more of Rune and Belle, because I really like Rune as a character, and I'm just feeling unsatisfied with where the romance is. I just feel like there's something missing for the romance aspect. The story made sense, the story was good. I just wish it had had more romance. I have a reading update for you on The Coldest Touch. I'm not sure what I expected. I'm pretty sure, because I'm a little biased sometimes. Like, if I've never heard of a book, I kind of expect to not love it. But this is everything. I love this so much. I am 160 pages in, which is pretty much halfway. And as I said, this is about Claire and Elise. Elise is cursed, Claire's a vampire, and she's supposed to recruit her to the secret organization. And this is so well written, and I already love Elise and Claire so much. I love them with my whole heart. I have deepest sympathies for Elise, who lost her brother and was predicted her brother's death, but was unable to do anything about it, and then had to watch him drown. She was previously on the swim team, so her entire life derailed after his death. And it is so sad, but this book is so sweet. It is so well written. I love it. And it really touches on, again, friendships and how people deal with the paranormal. How both of these characters are kind of torn. Like, Claire previously had some issues with this organization that she works for, but there's something that she wants more than anything else, and the veil needs to do that for her. So she said, yes, I will do this one last job if you help me do this other thing that I need. And so for her, the stakes are really high, because if she doesn't recruit Elise to this organization, she may never get the revenge she's been longing for 100 years. And Elise has kind of been a little bit suspicious, obviously. Is the Veil really good? Are they really doing what they should be doing as like a secret organization recruiting people? So I'm absolutely loving this so far. I didn't think I would love it as much as I am, but I will keep on reading. I almost forgot to check in with you guys yesterday because I almost finished this book, but then I got really tired, so I had to put it down. But I will probably finish this today, and I am loving it so much. I will check in with you guys when I'm done, and we'll see if I still love it then. This is the final check-in for today's reading vlog, because I finished The Coldest Touch by Isabel Sterling. This was a surprise. I really did not expect to love it as much as I did. The thing is, I think I said this before, I didn't buy this book. I got it gifted when I bought another book, like from a secondhand shop. And yeah, I got this gifted. So I didn't buy it myself and didn't know anything about the book. And I also don't really like the cover. And so I have been putting off reading this. So I'm really glad that I put it in my October TBR and I let my TBR prompt jar pick it for me, because this was absolutely stunning. I would give this book like a 4-star rating, because it did feel a little like Vampire Academy, but sapphic. And I really enjoyed that part. And I really liked our two main characters. So Claire knows that she's into women and she's been a vampire for like almost 100 years. But Elise has had a boyfriend for like most of her life, and she didn't really know that she was into women as well. And I love that dynamic. And then also there's a lot of mistrust in this book, because obviously, I said it before, I think Claire has been sent to like recruit her for the Veil, which is like a vampire organization that keep all the supernatural beings in check. And the Veil obviously has their own agenda, and Elise doesn't really trust them. And yeah, there's some stuff happening. I think the only reason this didn't have a higher rating even was that there was a little bit of a miscommunication in the end, which I didn't really like, because, I mean, I get where both of them were coming from, and one character did something that was terrible and basically unforgivable to the other one, but that was a miscommunication, kind of like a misunderstanding. And I feel like it was dragged out a little bit too much, because I don't think there was a reason to get this angry over that thing. Anyway, I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed like their journey. It does feel like a setup for another book, but I have no idea if there is another one. And I'm not sure if I would read it if there's a second one, because I feel like the story wrapped up nicely. And I feel like a second one would make it worse maybe. So I'm treating this as a standalone, and I'll keep it as it is. It was really fun. I'm very glad that I read this. And that is basically it. We're going to do a little recap of all the books we've read in this vlog. Assault Touch by Opal Rain. I loved this. I'm so glad that I love this, because now I can continue the series with a good conscience. And this was really fun. Then we read The Night Hunt, which was also really good. Also a 4-star book. It did bore me a little in the middle parts and the beginnings, which was kind of sad, but the ending was really good. I felt it wrapped up really nicely. There was a plot twist that I did not see coming that really surprised me, but it made total sense, which bumped this book up a lot for sure. Then I read Rewitched, which I enjoyed, thoroughly enjoyed. I was just a little sad that there wasn't much more romance in this. I understand that this book is not a romance book, and it's not supposed to be, but there were like some romantic elements in this book, which I really enjoyed. I loved Rune and our main character. I loved them together, and I just wish we'd gotten to see more of them, because they were really cool. but I can appreciate this for what it is. And then we got another surprise 4-star for this reading vlog, which means we got 3 4-star books and 1 3.5-star book. And that is just amazing. That's a great reading vlog. And that is all the books that we read in this vlog. Please let me know if you enjoyed this little baking segment that I did in the middle. I love baking, especially like now that we're going into the colder months and that it's time for cinnamon. I think it's time for cinnamon. I love everything with cinnamon in it. And my boyfriend too. So the cookies are already empty. There will be a lot more baking happening as soon as we get like closer to Christmas, obviously. And yeah, please do let me know if you enjoyed watching me bake cookies or like other stuff, and if you'd like to see more of it. And then also, if you would like the recipe, you can write so in the comments, and then I will put the recipe up in the description later. The thing is that I have multiple hobbies. Reading is definitely my biggest and most time-consuming one, but I also really enjoy baking and painting, for example, and I'm thinking of starting a reading journal. So if you would like to see any of those things, please leave a comment again below. I want to get some opinions on if you'd like this, because this is supposed to be a reading channel, and if you're only here for the reading, I can understand that. Yes. Please do let me know. But that marks the end for today's video. Thank you so much for watching all the way till the end. I hope this was kind of interesting for you. I am very surprised at how many good books we had in this reading vlog. We didn't have any bad books, which is great. I am so glad. And also we knocked 2 books off of my October TBR. That leaves only 3 books left, which I'm not sure if I'll be able to finish them. Maybe we're doing another reading vlog, like reading all of the books that are left on my October TBR, but I am in the middle of another book right now, and then I need to read Blood Over Bright Haven for my in-person book club. And I don't know if I will be able to read 5 books in the rest of the month, but we will see. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you so much, truly. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.